Except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
This is why I train in martial arts. Little tip for those of us still fortunate enough to use Windows Movie Maker. Sometimes you know how it might freeze in the beginning when you're recording something. Snap your fingers like this so you can get the video to calibrate and the audio, and then just edit that part out. That's what I do from time to time. Now, yeah, this is a Cesar Sayoc video. And I wanted to see if Cesar Sayoc had done any martial arts because I wanted to, use that to tie into basically views for this channel. And, to give my usual moral that, if people, I think a lot of people would do less violent things if they studied martial arts. Because if nothing else, if we want to talk about doing something just on a physical level, that may be a way for them to channel that energy into something that can be converted into positivity. Or at least if it's going to stay negative, it's going to be them being negative, beating on someone else who wants to beat on them too, so they don't harm anyone else but each other. So I type in Cesar Sayoc karate, right? And then I get karate teacher indicted on child porn and sexual assault charges. And Bronx karate teacher gets 8 years in prison for molesting two. Well, he molested two girls. And someone, this isn't even, it's not even the same people. This is not even the same people. These are 3 different dates in 3 different states. Davie, martial arts instructor, accused of lewd conduct with minors. Now, I said this is going to be a Cesar Sayoc video, the guy that they're calling the MAGA bomber. I'll get to him. See, and I don't want to throw all storefronts under the bus because there are probably some rec center people who have done it. I haven't read but maybe one story about a rec center person that's done this. See, one thing about teaching at the rec centers, that's one reason why I tend to recommend rec center classes, not just because I do them and I want you to come to mine, but there are cameras all over the place in the rec center. You cannot be alone with the student. There are cameras in every single room where you will be training. So if they try something, most likely it's going to be on camera, even in the parking lot. And also, if there's a room that doesn't have a camera, and you see a student going there, and you see an instructor going there, and that student is underage, and then you can wonder, why is that instructor going in there with that student? See? So you always have eyes on you when you're instructing. So if you're worried about the safety and sanctity of your children, you should let them study someplace where there are always eyes upon them. Okay? And one thing I learned when I had to take this mandatory training when I was going to be a chaperone for my children when they were school age, there are people that get involved in youth sports just to get access to the youth because they're predators. So I hate to throw people who want to work with youth under the bus, but you got to be careful and you've got to wonder why some of these folks want to work with youth. And see, I can't speak for every single system in the world, but I know the center that I work in part-time, the system I work in part-time, we have to get background checks. We have to get FBI background checks, criminal background checks. So, hey, that we're okay. But anybody can open up a storefront and they may not have to get a criminal background check to get that kind of a license. And they've even, if you read the news enough, there've even been some people who do Olympic level coaching and national level coaching and international level coaching who've done stuff to their athletes. Anyway, Cesar Sayoc, the MAGA bomber. Someone says he is the grandson of the founder of the Sayoc Cali system. Someone said, I just thought this was a little crazy. And then someone else is saying on this discussion, I'm going to put a URL, I'll put a link to this Reddit discussion in the description of this video. This is at reddit.com. So someone else thinks like I do. Did he have any martial arts background, especially since he was in the bodybuilding? So it says, so he's the grandson of someone who founded a Kali system. And then someone says he's not part of their history. And then someone else is saying, seriously? And because apparently, well, yeah, if it's Kali, it's going to be stick and knife. And so someone said, honestly, who cares? It would only be an issue if he went on a stabbing spree. Then I would agree that this has a bearing on the Kali lineage, which is a good point. But see, some people probably look at this because they think like I do. They know what martial arts training can do for people. Now, just like I said in one of my Elliot Rodger videos, it might be the only Elliot Rodger video that I did. And this dovetails with what an instructor told me one time. A lot of times people that have serious problems like that don't have the wherewithal to stick with the martial arts system. So 9 times out of 10, the system of studying the martial arts itself just weeds people out. Just because you have to learn this structured activity, people who have emotional problems or mental problems who are dangerous tend to be weeded out. Now, I can tell they don't get to the black belt levels and they usually don't become instructors. But that argument is blown up by what I was talking about at the top of this video, where I was talking about these predators who become coaches and get involved in youth activities. Some of that includes martial arts, just so they can get access to the children. But you know what, though? There is still a lot of truth to that, even though it's not absolute, because some people can just lie. They can just fake their credentials. They can lie. They may not have finished their training. They can lie and say, yeah, I've got a black belt from such and such and such. And if they get a nice looking enough certificate to present to you, and who knows, they may be able to get somebody to lie to you. I mean, they can fake the funk enough to become, able and given permission to coach children. Or, if someone opens up a school and they buy a bunch of trophies and put them on the wall, who's going to check 9 times out of 10? Most people aren't going to. So, I would like to think that maybe if Cesar Sayoc had time to, if he spent some of his energy doing some martial arts training, then perhaps he would have not had energy to build bombs and threaten people with them. But from some of the stuff I was seeing, the guy was a phenomenal bodybuilder. So he had time to bodybuild. He was employed. I've even saw some things were saying he was helping to manage a business. So it's not like he just sat around all day thinking about building pipe bombs. But this guy, maybe there was nothing that could have really helped him. Maybe, that was just his fate, his destiny, and there's really nothing we can do about it but just pray that God can help us fight against this type of evil in the world. I'm going to close with this, though, because what I'm going to play here does have to do with the martial arts in a way, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of martial artists who partake of this activity. Steroids. Let me cue this up here so I can see what I am doing. Steroids.
He's missing something.
An aunt afraid to appear on camera tells us his problems could stem from steroid use.
The only problem he had was steroids. I remember that. Loved steroids. That's why he's so big.
Sayoc's being held at the Federal Detention Center here in Miami. His first court appearance is Monday afternoon. If convicted, he could face up to 48 years in prison.
Hey, NBC News fan.
So shout out to NBC News. That's taking roid rage to a whole nother level, but it is something to think about. Some of these substances we put in our bodies could lead us down the path to darkness and destruction. But, not everybody who's on steroids is making bombs. So maybe we just don't know. Maybe we just don't know what created the Cesar Sayoc. We could have given him all the student creeds in the world, could have sent him to church and made him a good little boy. And in the end, it was just free will, and he chose to go to the dark side of the force. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people who like to talk about the martial arts. Thank God that no one was hurt by Cesar Sayoc. And I pray he gets the help that he needs. And peace.